Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Wednesday, September 28th. We are in the middle of the week, and we are dealing with some more bouncy action in crypto. When we spoke yesterday, it was, we were coming off of the downturn. We mentioned that the downside was definitely less likely, considering where it was at. We definitely said it could head lower. It tagged 18.5, which coincides with recent supports in the low 1800s level, and it has subsequently bounced. Comparatively, we also saw equities with a nice bounce overnight, or a dip overnight, bounce into the morning, and now equities are now at the high end of the previous range that we mentioned. We were talking about this yesterday, that equities were struggling to break back into that range. Obviously had a bit of a rejection yesterday afternoon and have climbed back towards the recent highs. So if you're looking for shorts, and you think equities are still shortable, this is probably when you would start looking for shorts. Maybe we get a slight deviation, but more than likely equities start to roll over a little bit here. But of course, nothing guaranteed, and we do have a fresh hourly candle after a big boost. So definitely could still make it up to 37.17, but it really needs to flip 3,700 into supports before calling for a next bullish leg. So looking at sentiment, we can see, Ethereum's hourly sentiment bullish. Bitcoin hourly sentiment, it says neutral, but it's at 59, so quite bullish. Bitcoin daily sentiment is back in the neutral level. So, it's actually 50 now. So it's a nice little kind of reversal pattern forming, and it's moving higher. And of course, hourly sentiment looking very friendly as well this morning. And let's do ETH daily sentiment. ETH daily sentiment definitely a little bit lower, but has moved slightly higher this morning. And obviously, hourly sentiment definitely more positive than not. So good signs to see from these charts. We did have the European Central Bank, institute some quantitative easing. Basically, they're buying bonds after that horrendous announcement where they were going to be releasing more bonds. And so basically, the story goes that because they were basically going to release more debt, there's not enough demand for the debt. And because they signaled that they're going to release more debt due to a lack of demand and higher supply, price moves down. It's basic, there's your basic Econ 101. That's an extremely simplistic way to put it, but that's basically what happened. And because of that, it started breaking a few things in Europe. Pension funds had to ditch bonds. Most portfolios are 60-40 equities bonds. So, if large scale, large amounts of people are ditching UK bonds because they were plummeting, then clearly someone is taking a loss somewhere, and it was, this someone was, a lot of people. So basically the Bank of England stepping in, so obviously, coincides with a little relief pump after another ugly dip. This, we talked about this yesterday, this is the start of that range lower. So, I think people are still expecting that, but obviously, there is no easy money when we're down this far, and things have not, plummeted yet. So, it's something to be cautious of. So looking at equities, our weather vane, we are overbought. We've been here before, which is why I said, we could see some deviation. There is a lot of liquidity in this level. So if we drop the first level, I would expect is here, 3680. Next level I would expect here is 3650, 3655 maybe. And then obviously down here near the POC, but around 3630. So, if I wouldn't be very bullish on equities here. I would definitely be cautious. I think shorts are more likely given the macro environment and the technical positioning, but crazier things have happened. So we know we need to flip 3,700 into support, else we will be rejected. Looking at Bitcoin, obviously, strong wicking action here on the hourly it did try and tag that previous day's VWAP. We mentioned that in the Trade the Chain community late yesterday evening. We did say that, this was definitely a likely target. This morning, the first target was 19.3. We said we needed to flip 19.3 into support. I didn't exactly expect the 19.7 run, but that's what we got. So no complaints there. So basically, if you're a Bitcoin bull, you need to flip this level or at least this level at worst. There is a lot of liquidity here, so we could see a dip down here and above. So in a very bullish scenario, you flip 19.3 into support. In a moderately bullish scenario, you flip 19.1 into support to head higher. So either you're doing this if you're bullish, or you're expecting this if you're bullish. And if you're bearish, then you're expecting, and maybe I'll make this red for everybody. And if you're bearish, you're expecting something like that. And I guess you could see something like this. And I guess I'll start removing, so I know these lines are getting confusing. So the bullish narrative, 19.3, 19.1. And if you are bearish, then either this or something like this. And you could also see a drop here and then a rise higher. So that'll be very interesting to see how we react to 19.3 first, because it does look like we may be headed there temporarily, and then obviously 19.1 as well. So very similarly for ETH, similar boost, similar area. 1938 or 1338, I'm sorry, was my first target for ETH. We hit that on the dot. And now actually, let's go down to the 15 minutes, get a bit better review since that hourly candle is so fresh. So, we're still under the 200-day moving average in the 15 minutes. It tried to tag yesterday's, VWAP. So that 1360 target is still kind of sitting there, stagnant. So something to look out for there. Let's get this back green. Actually, I kind of like this one. So that's definitely still a target there. If you don't think it's going to break this level, it's probably likely to head back in here first. So, maybe bounce, this. So this 50-day moving average, 100-day moving average, and VWAP are likely to converge somewhere around here, which would be, 1305, something like that. So you would expect, a drop down to that level, and then, hopefully a rise. And then obviously if it cannot bounce here, then we're back down to the lows. And it could, we could also bounce off this POC and head higher, especially if Bitcoin tries to tag this 13.7 level cleanly, with potentially another target up here if it continues bullish. So, we know 19.7 and then 20.2 are bull targets, and then bear targets are 19.3 and 19.1. For ETH, your bull targets are 1360 and 1385, and your bear targets are, immediately 1325, as well as 1310. I would say would be a good number, and then obviously 1280, 1285 on the low end. So definitely if you miss, and we are, and I guess just for typical market structure, market psychology, we are heading up on lunch US time. Typically lunch US time will be a sell-off period. We discussed this yesterday. The market, close is always an important time. This is when we closed here yesterday. So and then you can see we dropped again. So I did say, when we spoke yesterday after this, I said, wait till the end, wait till market close. You'll have another good opportunity. We obviously moved straight down from that market close. And I said, wait till the market open. You'll have more opportunity. Market opened here and we moved high. So, these are good times to trade. You don't need to trade all day. You don't need to trade every day. Well, I mean, you can trade every day, as long as you kind of look at the right time to trade. But look at when we kind of had big moves. Market opened here, we moved down. Daily close here, we move down. Market open here, we move up. So now we're at lunchtime, which is, right around, this is right when we were talking, yesterday. So the lows of the day. of that session. So now we may be at the high of this session. So that's very much something to consider, especially if you are still a bull. Doesn't mean that, we definitely can't move higher. Bitcoin is definitely chatting a bit. And, it is, we are just at the, just past the 12 o'clock hour on the East Coast. But it's typically how the market operates is you run into lunch, you cool off, you wait for the close, wait for the open, you move, cool off at lunch, wait for the close, you run, cool off, wait for the open, you run, cool off, so this is, understanding how the market moves. And of course, nothing is 100%, but understanding how the market moves will certainly help you. Another thing, obviously helping with this rally, dollar had a big move today, down, which is bullish for risk. And so, this is definitely a big move since late last night. And this is pretty much when the Bank of England announced, what they were going to do. So, we are still very high. We're at where you would expect support for DXY. If it moves down here, I would expect a bounce on the 200-day moving average, which would coincide with about 112. So if DXY continues to move down to this level, then I would expect risk to continue to move higher, incrementally at least. But because we know how strong this asset can be and it can turn on a dime, we need to cleanly break through this level. Basically, need to do this and then that. I doubt we just go straight down. So, which would coincide with equities in Bitcoin and Ethereum potentially cooling off. So, there's your analysis for the day. Definitely, if you're still a bull here, I would definitely start to hedge some of your risk or potentially take some risk off. But we know the targets, and especially if the dollar continues a downward trajectory, that should help equities and Bitcoin flourish. There we go. We're above that range again. So, need to break through that 37.18 level cleanly for equities. But, we do know the deviation happens a lot. So I'm not, we know we need to flip this level 37.03 into support, and we have to break through 37.15, 37.16. So until that happens, probably better to think in a bearish direction, at least temporarily. So good luck, happy trading. We'll of course see everybody tomorrow. And if you're not in the Trade the Chain community, then you're missing out on all of the trade ideas, free alpha, market analysis that we put in there every single morning. And of course, we have 14-day free trial at tradethechain.com. So see everybody tomorrow. Good luck, happy trading. Oh, also, I'll be on CoinDesk TV at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so just a couple hours. Check us out, or check me out for some macro and Bitcoin thoughts. And it should be another fun session on CoinDesk TV. So have a great day, everybody, and good luck trading.